What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Joseph Nakhla, CEO of Tribe Property Technologies, along with founder and CEO of VendorPM, Emil Brill. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Great. Good to see you.
Doing well. Happy Friday.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you both on today. So can you start by giving us a quick update, Joseph, on the company, along with telling our viewers, everything that you've been up to with Tribe since we last spoke? It's been a little while.
Yeah, we've been busy. As you would remember, maybe some of the viewers would know, we had closed on 3 transactions last year. We also introduced our residential marketplace 2.0 that allows residents in our communities to be able to transact directly with great service offerings. So this last quarter, we've been really busy integrating the acquisitions that we've made in these different markets, continue to grow organically, and working on great partnerships like the one we're going to discuss today.
Yes, so now let's talk about that. So, Tribe recently launched VendorPM to support condo and rental communities nationally and deployed a fully integrated warranty solution for real estate developers in Ontario. Emil, can you tell us more about VendorPM and what it does?
Sure. So our mission is to modernize the way that building managers and vendors work together. And so what we've done is we've built this vendor management and procurement software specifically for our industry. So it's turnkey in that sense. Now, taking it a step further, in major cities where we've achieved mass adoption, we've also opened up a marketplace of over 40,000 vendors that property managers are able to source and procure from. So in sum, property managers use VendorPM to manage, source, and procure their service vendors.
So Joseph, how does this partnership fit with your strategy?
Well, it's no surprise to anyone that we're leading digitization of property management in Canada, and we have obviously quite a bit of invested in allowing our communities and our property managers to be running at a much or less paper focused and a lot more high level of efficiency, and is one of the biggest areas that our property managers consume that consumes a lot of their time, is actually really identifying qualified vendors to perform specific work in any of the communities that we have all over the country. So what VendorPM really allows us to do is, once we onboard all of our communities on the platform, allows us to really get access to those 40,000 qualified vendors that Emil just alluded to. But not only that, but also use the engine for a request for quotes or RFQs, which really streamlines the whole process, allows us to, at any point, we're managing, hundreds of projects on behalf of our customers. So envision, we've got close to 45,000 homes under management, and envision the number of projects that are on the go at all times. So what VendorPM's platform allows us to do is really streamline the different stages of these projects, especially on the pricing and the award side.
So Emil, what makes this partnership so valuable then?
Yes, it's not a simple answer necessarily, because there's multiple facets to this. As we all know, Tribe is one of the most innovative property management groups in North America. And this just gave them, in my opinion, an even stronger competitive advantage. So for clients, they're able to significantly reduce risk in the vendor onboarding, the vendor management process, along with a lot of operational savings that Joseph alluded to, and how they're sourcing new vendors, but also acquiring 3 bids for all building services. I mean, this is a mandate, a requirement across all boards and all councils, all communities, and it's one that very few management companies are actually able to deliver on. And so again, this just grows that competitive advantage for Tribe. But not just in the sense of winning new business, but also for retaining and acquiring talent on the property management side. See, VendorPM is displacing a lot of what is currently done manual. It's reliant on email, spreadsheets, phone calls, word of mouth. And so property managers are able to cut hours out of their workflows on a weekly basis to focus on boards, councils, residents, higher value activities, and ultimately finding efficiencies in their day-to-day in that sense. And then for us, look, we're still, an early stage technology company. A lot of things are going well, and we're growing fast. But the reality is that every single building counts in building trust, and building the brand, and building our marketplace, and even future builds, such as something we want to work on called predictive pricing. The more partners we have on board, the more data points we have on board. We want to be able to be a single source of truth for supply and demand, for pricing analytics, so that any property management company can come to VendorPM and know exactly what a service should cost for their building at any given point of time. That's just one micro example, but all to say, every building counts, and a partnership at the size and the scope of the one with Tribe just moves that needle so much more. And it's one that we're incredibly grateful for.
Yeah, that really makes sense to me. So, the company has announced a number of partnerships over the last year. Going forward, how important do you feel partnerships are when it comes to your overall growth strategy? And do you have your sights set on any new ones, Joseph?
Yeah, we've got our sights set on a lot of partnerships. Partnerships are critical for us. When we look at the complexity of property management, both on the condo or strata side, as we say out west, or the residential living under the umbrella of rental, which continues to grow on our side of both sides of the coast here in Canada. This complexities really require a significant amount of digitization tools, and our residents are constantly telling us that they want access to more daily products and services that make their life easier. And it's never been more needed than dealing with the type of inflation and cost of living that we're experiencing. And we have that ability to deliver this group buying power on behalf of our residents. We know where they live, we know where they want to spend their money on, and we can actually deliver great services to them right at their fingertips through our platform. So you will see us constantly adding more partners and establishing more partnerships right through the year. And we'll still continue to grow our footprint. We're very active. It's no surprise to anybody. We've done 10 M&A acquisitions to date, and we'll continue to be seeking great partnerships and acquisitions in both sides of the coast in Canada and beyond in 2023.
Great. We'll have to have you back on to chat about that. So Tribe has also just deployed a fully integrated warranty solution for real estate developers in Ontario. How does this fit into Tribe's strategy?
So we cut our teeth as a pure digital company, as some people would know, and many of the services that we offer for real estate developers, those people that are building these brand new communities from scratch, is we give them, arguably the world's largest suite of products specific to their ability to manage deficiencies, communicate with their homeowners, deliver digital manuals, and completely manage all the warranty different phases. And for those that have never bought a brand new condo, every condo comes with different types of warranties depending on the province or the state. And our technology really allows the developer to manage the thousands of these deficiencies right through, and warranty items right through the process. So with that as the background, in Ontario, there's an organization called Terion, which essentially oversees all warranty items post-occupancy. Once people move into their condos, they for every single deficiency, it must be registered with Terion. And the developers need a digital tool that allows them to manage those. We've actually just closed on our millionth deficiency item, which is a monster number. So how do you manage all these different items? Well, we've done a full integration with Terion for all of our Ontario developers, and we work with lots of them. So that way, in one platform, which is ours, they can see all the different deficiencies coming from either Terion or from their homeowners or the staff on site, organize them all, and see them from the moment they capture them all the way to completion. So nothing falls through the cracks. So this is a tremendous cost saving and time saving for our developers and their customer service teams, but also a great peace of mind for the homeowners.
So both these announcements point to national growth, and in particular, Ontario. Where's the company headed?
You'll see us more and more in Ontario, and we continue to be very active in our interest in expanding through M&A and organically in Canada. But we really like what's going on in the U.S. We really like the U.S. market.
Yeah, lots of opportunities there for sure. So now let's talk a bit about economic environments. So has inflation and rising interest rates had any impact on your business? And if so, what is your game plan to combat this environment going forward?
Yeah, 2022, I spoke quite a bit about supply chain challenges that got in the way of developers completing their new construction on time. And that does impact us because when a building is scheduled to be finished in March and it gets delivered in May or April, we see a little bit of a delay in our recurring revenue starting. But I'm glad to tell you, while in our Q1 here of 2023, that this is catching up. So it looks to me like developers have, navigated through some of these supply chain issues. We're seeing a significant amount of deployments happening as we speak. We're onboarding a ton of new construction. So I think this is taking care of that issue, the supply chain issue that we discussed previously. In terms of activity that are daily, and I think we're kind of fortunate to have Emil with us here because he deals with a lot of different property management companies all over the country, but it really hasn't impacted us much. I mean, buildings still have to be managed. If anything, we know there's never been more desire to see more streamlined and lower cost of operation. So Emil, I'm sure, has something to say about that.
Yeah, I would look at it in two fronts. I mean, one is for the property management businesses, but second is what the boards and councils are also wanting, what they need. So from the property management side, as Joseph mentioned, it's an essential service. It is recession proof. So we're not seeing really any of the traditional impacts that you would expect, these economic conditions to lead to. When it comes to boards and councils, though, you are seeing them want to become far more cost conscious and risk conscious. So when it comes to VendorPM on a cost standpoint, they're saying, okay, we haven't gone to tender. We haven't gone and gotten 3 bids for this service, that service in how many years? They're saying, okay, we need you to go get 3 bids and ensure that we are paying the best possible price for this service and our budgets are completely optimized. VendorPM is the most efficient tool to do so. So we're seeing a lot of volume as a result of that use case. On the risk side, they want to make sure that their house is in order. And so they're using VendorPM to say, this is what being approved to work with us looks like. And that our software is what's onboarding and approving those vendors against those criteria. Some of the basic and most prominent examples in the condo or the strata space would be certificates of insurance and workers' comp. Again, a very time-consuming manual process that falls on the burden of property managers right now. Something that we're able to take off their shoulders, automate, as well as leverage the entire industry consolidated in one marketplace at scale to deliver efficiencies for property managers, but also that reduced risk that boards and councils are seeking.
Thanks, Emil, for your insight on that. That was great. So, Joseph, back to you. Why is now such a great time for investors to take a closer look at Tribe today?
Well, we've never been more of a value play than now. Look at our revenue, look at our constant growth, and just like a lot of micro caps have suffered the incredible difficult markets that we're in. And I get it. Good companies and bad companies both get painted by the same brush in tough markets. And I'll say, look under the hood, and I invite your viewers to learn more about us. We're just a constant, solid, recurring business company, recession-proof and pandemic-proof, and continue to foray into an evergreen industry that is more than $120 billion of addressable market annually. So we're making our mark, and we're officially now one of only 3 national players in Canada, and we've got almost $20+ billion of assets under management. And January 2018, we had nothing. So continue to grow. We're making steps and steady as we go, and we have lots of interesting news that people can keep an eye on.
Yes, and I look forward to watching you grow. And also thanks for the opportunity for being able to cover you this far. So what is your outlook on the real estate market going forward? And where do you see the biggest challenges right now?
I think overall, you'll see more and more of the trends we're seeing. More and more people are living in these vertical communities, master plan communities. We've never seen more activities than we see currently, which is this fancy way of saying developers are buying all these monstrous plots of land that already maybe have single family homes on them, or low rise, old school, 67-year-old communities. And they're deciding and redesigning these areas by bringing in, mixed use communities in them. And we're on contract with tens of these communities coming across the country. I think of course interest rates have affected the number of transactions that are occurring, and we know why that is happening. And I think that's going to slow down and continue to probably slow down some of the new starts, in addition to some of the transaction sales. But believe it or not, I'm looking at some of the pricing, and it looks like we're starting to rebound and start to knock on 2019 numbers, which is shocking to me, considering that we're supposed to be in the middle of a recession. But don't take my word for it. Just keep an eye on the market. I just don't foresee any challenges in the property management and or people living in buildings.
Yeah, let's hope for some stability now. So where should investors go for more information on the company?
Please come to tribetech.com. We have a very extensive investor section to our site, and feel free to reach out to us for any more information.
Great. Well, Emile, Joseph, it was a pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. And I look forward to having you back on for more updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.